Welcome, everybody. This is Chris Dwayne from ChrisDwayneSilverShieldCoins.com. Every week I release 2 new mini mintages that are produced for 1 week only and tend to go up in price on eBay over time. You can find them all over at ChrisDwayneSilverShieldCoins.com, and every Thursday at noon I release 2 new ones. So today I wanted to basically serve as a warning for people to not get too excited about $60 silver, because this is the beginning infancy stages of a global hyperinflation that's going to take down the entire world's paradigm. The debt and death paradigm is what I called it, because they work together. They put us into constant wars and put us into constant debt, and it gets revolved over world wars and all sorts of stuff. But right now I'm telling people to basically, you got to change the way that you view your silver in terms of all the other assets out there. What I'm going to say is going to happen is that there's going to be an inflection point where the debt and death paradigm suddenly stops. And I think it's going to come from silver selling out globally all at once on eBay, then online, and then the 3 triple defaults of the LBMA, the COMEX, and the Shanghai. This is going to be the largest inflection point of financial, military, political, historical, religious history, is when the financial system stops. The major reason why I think this is going to happen is because that there's 365 paper ounces of silver trading for each physical ounce of silver. And when the world wakes up and wants only physical silver for the 10,000 industrial demands that it has, its use as money and an investment, now, nothing else will do but physical silver. So your job is to hold the silver through the entire hyperinflation. Right now, the monthly silver chart looks like a hockey stick going up with big green bars. Well, that's just the beginning phases of a much larger move. I was talking with people on another video talking about how in Weimar, Germany, silver went to 3.4 trillion marks at its peak. Now that would buy a lot of mortgages that were, locked in at a much lower rate, and probably would buy up a whole city block worth of houses with one silver coin. Now that's at its max. That's also an economy that is in complete collapse, and that's what I expect, but on a global basis. Most hyperinflations happen only within one country, and that there's alternative currencies out there. There's gold, there's silver, and then people come back in and do this. What I see is coming is the end of everything, and that the silver is going to be the only asset that's going to transfer wealth from this paradigm to the next paradigm, and it cannot be measured in dollars. In fact, I think the 3 major roadblocks of silver becoming even more profitable is gold, Bitcoin, and silver mining stocks. Those are the 3 big distractions that I see going on right now, distracting wealth away from silver at the end. My general thesis is that the entire global economy is built off of a Ponzi scheme, that it's not just the United States, it's China, it's Euro, it's the Japan, it's the Middle East, it's India, it's the South America, it's everywhere. That everybody's on a global debt and death paradigm, and that this system is going to seize up and stop. The reason why I tell people basically to stay away from gold is the gold to silver ratio right now is at a 1:72 gold to silver ratio, where it takes 72 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. I can see it going down to a 1-to-1 gold to silver ratio, and even at a 1-to-1 gold to silver ratio, with a massive 72 times return on investment over gold at a time when the entire global economy collapses, the purchasing power of that silver will be much larger than any other asset out there. The next distraction from silver is Bitcoin, and I think that Bitcoin's ultimate value is going to be measured in negative terms. When we're, again, playing on this thesis that we're going to have a global collapse of currencies and markets and governments and everything, and that silver will be released from the manipulation and have incredible technological demand, industrial demand, monetary demand, investment demand, and I think that even spiritual demand. That Bitcoin will be used as a vector point of governments basically tracking down all criminal activity. If you think about it, this open source ledger has information that will lead to civil asset forfeiture that will end up costing you more in legal penalties than the actual crypto that you invest in. Now, people would say, well, I didn't do anything wrong, but crypto inherently is an international money laundering and tax evasion scheme. And then when governments have an open blockchain to go get it, I think that they're going to go after people who still have Bitcoin, and that the real value of the cryptocurrencies is going to end up being negative when you factor in all the legal and ramifications of this. Silver doesn't have that. Silver can stay unsold for much longer, can't be confiscated by government computers, and it would last longer than that. Plus, it has 10,000 industrial uses that would make silver, impossible for them to take. The third trap that I see right now is the silver mining stocks. Silver mining stocks, you would make sense. It would be like, oh, they have all this silver in the ground. Once the price of silver rises, that means the profits are going to, be astronomical. But I think silver mining stocks are suffering from the very clear reality that when this happens, this massive event that's going to revalue silver above all other assets out there, that mines are basically an easy way for governments to come in and tax, regulate. There would be strikes, there could be coups, there could be nationalizations, and then it would take away the equity of all the silver mining shares, from the government just being a rapacious government. If the government's going to confiscate anything, and they're going to confiscate the mining supply. I don't think that they're going to go door to door looking for Granny's, silver dimes that she stored for the last 30 years. And plus, silver can be hidden far easier than cryptocurrencies. You bury a hole in a backyard and have a little treasure map for your kids. That'll do it. I'm back onto YouTube. I used to have a YouTube channel with 173,000 subscribers. I know this is going to take a long time for me to build this channel back up to where I'm able to do that, but I think if enough of these videos get out there and people start, saying that, start paying attention to this guy. He's been calling it for a very long time, and the extreme nature of what I'm calling for. I'm calling for a void collapse of all other assets and a supernova silver selling out into unobtanium. That's the inflection point that I see is going to happen, that silver is going to be worth literally more than all other assets on Earth at its extreme. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be unobtainium. We're going to see billionaires and trillionaires trying to clamor for ounces of silver for their industries. Corporations are going to rip out big checkbooks to have physical silver come to them. And I think that what we're going to see is a transition from all the people that stack silver are going to become a new nobility, a new kingship. New kingdoms are going to arise because the value of that silver is going to rise so high. Yes, I am bullish on silver. I consider myself the silver maximalist. I don't think anybody else out there is calling for a complete collapse of the debt and death paradigm and a silver supernova event where silver would be worth more than all other assets combined. And I think it's just going to become simply unobtainium. I don't think that silver's going to sell out and become unobtainium. I don't think we're going to have a normal price discovery where it's going to go up every day and then we're going to somehow reach a plateau where silver is fairly valued against all the other assets out there. I saw another comment talking about how silver is finally priced more than oil. It's never done that before. And the comment I made was that oil is the second most common liquid on the planet next to water, and that there's abiotic. It's made from the Earth's mantle. It's not a fossil fuel, and it's plentiful. But silver is being mined out of existence. We have a 7-year deficit of over 1.2 billion ounces of silver that have been consumed more than have been mined over the past 7 years, and that this inflection point has left us sorely undercapitalized to create new silver mines that take up to 10 years to come online. So we're going to have a silver deficit for all the way out until the 2030s. And as I mentioned before in previous videos, silver comes out of the ground at a geological rate. It's very difficult to find it. If you've ever seen a silver mine, they're basically picking up silver flecks out of granite, and they have to use all sorts of processes to get the silver purified. It's an incredibly difficult process that happens, but the exponential use of that silver on industry will cause silver to basically sell out. and become unobtainium. It will not be available for any price. And if you think about it, the people that have been stacking silver are going to want to wait until after the hyperinflation. I keep telling people, stop selling your Silver Shield on eBay. I know you're probably getting multiple premiums for it and be able to maybe stack more physical silver. I know a lot of people who do that, but once these coins leave your possession, they're never going to come back. The prices of silver are going to rise so high that you'll never be able to get those coins back. So be careful about selling Silver Shield right now on eBay. I hope that we end up having more people come and buy it all up, all the weak hands that are still selling silver before. I'm telling you, you have to wait for a hyperinflation. You're a fool to sell your silver right now. Unless it's to stack more silver, which I know a lot of the Silver Shields premiums have gone up over time, and that you could basically trade 1 ounce for 5 ounces, and that's something that you could definitely do. But I still think it's just way too early to be selling out your silver at these levels. Even at $61, $62 silver, it's still too early on in the game, because it's going to go up to 100, 1,000, 10,000. And as we saw in Weimar Germany and Venezuela when they had their hyperinflations, we're talking trillions of dollars per ounce, or bolivars or marks, but it's going to be dollars this time. And the world's preparing for this. The whole world, the BRICS economies have been setting up a system, and they've been basically stacking more gold than anything else. But I think the cat's out of the bag, where silver is going to become the most valued asset out there. So I wanted to give that silver warning. Stay away from sell your gold at 70 and get 72 times more of the metal that's going to become worth unobtainium. Stay away from Bitcoin and cryptos, because there's going to be a negative civil asset forfeiture of this blockchain that governments are going to use AI to track and trace and trap and tax all criminality through these cryptos, and there's a big pool there. And I think when you take in consideration international money laundering and tax evasion, that governments are going to use civil asset forfeiture to make cryptos worth negative. You'll have to pay to get rid of the crypto if it gets to that point where the governments are so rapacious. And then the final one is the silver mining stocks. I know it's very tempting to go out there and go gamble and buy puts and or calls on silver mining stocks, but at the height of where I think that this is going to go, silver mines are going to be the first place that the governments are going to go to tax, regulate. There'll be strikes, there'll be coups, there'll be nationalizations, and it'll all be all the capital that gets invested in those stocks will become worthless. Better to stick with pre-mined stock, silver stocks in your possession. And that's what I wanted to warn people about today. Please share this video. Please subscribe. Please like. And go, if you really want to support me, go over to ChrisDuaneSilverShieldCoins.com and be a part of this. These coins are going to be treasured for years to come. Nothing else has captured the moment of silver better than Silver Shield for the last 14 years. All the historical things that have happened, the quotes, the things are all in the side Silver Shield coins that perform a singularity of truth that's etched in eternal silver. I'm telling you, Silver Shield is going to become the most valuable of all the silver. Silver is at the very tip of a $2.5 quadrillion Exeter's pyramid of digital illusions of wealth, of liquidity. And what I'm calling for is a complete void collapse of that digital illusion of wealth into real tangible wealth, and silver is going to stand out highest among all of them. So stay solid in silver and get rid of all the other assets. This is the time you want to be all in on physical silver, and this is the place that keep you focused on that. Thank you.